Think we're live. Okay, perfect. All right, good evening. I'm going to give a moment for everyone to get on and we're going to get started. Tonight, we're going to talk about Bosses Retreat 2024 and just give you guys some information, give you the opportunity to ask whatever questions you would like to ask, and also hear from some people that have attended previously. So we're going to hit the share button. All right. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Leah. Leah, you don't have to show your face yet. All right. We're going to give it a couple minutes and we're going to get started. Can I share this to, I need to share this to another page. Let's see. Trying to share it to my coaches. Can you see if you can share it to my coach, to Karen Nicole page? All right, perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Some of you guys may jump in the in-between. Some of you guys are going to watch the replay, which is perfectly fine. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to get the information out there just so you guys can know what your investment looks like. So this is the Bosses Retreat 2024. We did our first one this year, 2023. It was amazing. We had a great time. And so here we are again next year. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you don't know who I am, this is your first time watching, someone sent you this video, somebody decided to share it with you. I'm just going to introduce myself. I am Takara Nicole. I reside here in Savannah, Georgia. I am the owner of 4 thriving businesses. I have started out in the beauty industry, and I have now branched off into coaching and project management. I currently own a salon here in Richmond Hill, Georgia. I have my own product line. And I also have Life in the Well Ministries. So those are a couple of things that I kind of have my hand in. So I definitely can give you guys, of course, the advice and the coaching that you guys need. So my niche is goal setting and execution. Those are 2 of the major things. I know that there's a lot of coaches that do a lot of different things, but for me, goal setting and execution are the main things that are which is my niche. My curriculum is called Ready, Set, Go. So I teach preparation and manifestation, goal setting, and execution. Okay. All right. So this Bosses Retreat is reset, realign, and refocus. We've seen I guess like the Facebook post, whatever they tell you, like reset as many times as you need to, but don't quit, right? And so everybody at some point in their business and at some point of their life, you have to stop, you have to realign, you have to refocus. Just like if you're driving a car, at some point that car is going to need maintenance. At some point, that car is going to need a realignment because you've been driving it for so long. You've been going different places. Things start to get a little bit wonky. And so sometimes you have to stop and get the proper maintenance. And so this is what this Bosses Retreat is all about. Us taking a moment to stop and get the proper maintenance that you need in order to gear up and elevate to the next place. It's also the perfect place for those that are trying to get started because you're going to get what you need to get going. And so this Bosses Retreat was created for entrepreneurs. It was created for creatives and for leaders. Okay. So if you're influential, if you are a pastor, if you are a church leader, this is the retreat for you. This is the opportunity for you to stop, realign, get back focused, and then be sent out and ready to go. Brittany, on any moment, if you want to hop in here, you can hop in. Okay.
No, I definitely agree with you. So
Yeah.
like I think what we saw last year, right? This isn't the first go round. So I think what we saw last year was really a lot of that, a lot of people that came with no matter where they were in their business, right? Like no matter if they were just starting or if they had been doing it for 5 to 10 years, it didn't matter. Everyone in the room left with valuable information to get them to into the next year. I really like that we do this bosses retreat in the first quarter. We do it right at the first quarter, so it's giving you an idea of like, okay, did I set the right goals? At the end
Yeah.
of the year, did I set the right goals? Maybe I'm a little off. Maybe I need to refigure this thing out. And so I think it's a really good time right at the end of that first quarter where it's like before we get too far into the year. I think so many retreats like this happen like
Yeah.
at the end of the year where it's like you're not sure. It's almost too late to recover the
Yeah.
year, right? And so right at the first quarter, we still have an opportunity to like listen, you can still launch something, you still have time to get things set up. There's still time for that. And so
Right.
I'm really excited to be a part of the Boston Retreat as I had last year. I'm excited to see some of our attendees return. I know they're excited about returning because each year we come back with even more information than we shared the year before. But this literally is for no matter where you are in your business, in your ministry. I
Yeah.
think we've had the pleasure of watching ministries rebrand this year and be a part of that process. So we certainly know the ebbs and flows of that we can help with. And so we can certainly speak to all of those things, even as you've launched this year and, just helping people get to that point. How do I get to the point of organizing my thoughts to getting to this, resetting and some realignment personally, creatively, as an entrepreneur, and listen, and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
Like,
at the same time. But
it's,
we definitely had an amazing time. It
yeah.
was good just to let our hair down and do all of the things. But let me tell you guys, so before I get into this next part, the reason why I got up, y'all, excuse me, was because I think about this, right? And every year we do these. We do vision boards, right?
Oh yeah.
We do vision boards. We get our pads out and we write out all of our goals, right? We do all of these things. But the problem that I have is that we do all of this, but then every year we look at the same board, we look at the same paper, and we see that we have accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
We've accomplished part of it. We stopped, then we started. We stopped, then we started. And so the reason why I really decided to do this bosses retreat is because I like to call this an execution party, because I like the idea of not just writing something down and having it, but being able to execute what it is that I say that I'm going to write down. And so in this collective, in the bosses retreat, what we're going to do is we are going to execute or learn how to execute or even have a plan on how we're going to execute all of these goals and these dreams and these aspirations that we write down that we don't complete. Okay. So this is what I like to call an execution party. All right. So let's look at some of the topics that we are going to cover, right? Because the one thing that I know is that I am big on the whole person, right? And so being an entrepreneur, we have to make sure that we take care of us. Why? Because 10 times out of 10, we are the person that is the boss. We are the person that's the leader. We are the person that's in charge. We are the person that people are looking to. We are the person that people are depending on. We are that person that is the main one. And so when you are that person, you have to make sure that all areas of your life are together. One thing that I love, and I've said it, and one of our other coaches preach. What he says is, how you do one thing is how you do all things. And what I've always said is, what you do at home will only reflect what you do in your business. Okay, so if you are bad with money at home, you're gonna be bad with money at your job, on your business. If you're bad, if you're depressed at home, what are you going to be? Depressed in your business, because it's only an extension of who you are. So
Yeah.
topics that we like to cover are the whole person. So we always talk about psychological challenges. What are some of those things that we face in our journey as an entrepreneur? A lot of times it is very, very lonely. A lot of times we are out here by ourselves. A lot of times we are out here grinding. We're out here hustling. And even if you have friends, like I have Brittany, that is my business bestie, and we can bounce stuff off, there are still some things that I will still struggle with by myself because it's my business. And so the reality is there are psychological struggles, there are psychological challenges. If you think about it, there are generational behaviors, right, that we face. Okay. There are generational behaviors that we face. And so there's so many different challenges that we face. So we always talk about our mind, right? Mind first. We're going to talk about self-awareness. Okay. What is self-awareness? Being self-aware, being able to understand where you relate in the world, operating in your geniuses, operating and be the most authentic person you can be. It is very stressful trying to be somebody else. And so how can I be the most authentic me in my business, in my ministry, right? All of those different things. Okay. We're going to talk about goal setting. How do you properly goal set? I know a lot of times we get up, we write these things down, but there is definitely a method. There is definitely some foundational practices when it comes to properly goal setting. Okay. So we're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about how to properly build a team. Because a lot of times, once you get to that place where you're starting to scale, you're like, well, how do I know who to hire? How do I know who to fire? How am I going to find these people? How do I even properly build the people around me that can help me? Sometimes it might not be somebody you have to hire, but bartering services or just learning how to collaborate with other people that are doing the same thing that you're trying to do, or y'all are doing different things and you guys can be a help to each other. So we're going to talk about how to build a team. We're going to talk about content that converts. How do you convert content into money? Because you just can't be throwing up posts and thinking like, oh, something, just because somebody's seen that post, they're going to shop with you. Just because you threw that post up there, somebody's going to buy. Just because you posted that set flyer, that one day, that everybody is going to show up. So how do I create content that speaks to my people? How do I create content that speaks to my audience? Branding and marketing. Now, those two things, I put them together, but they're two totally different things. They go together, but they're two totally different things. So creating your brand. Last year, Brittany, she taught this class. She's going to teach it again. It was an amazing course on branding and what does branding look like. And so you will get hands-on. Okay. This is not, we're just going to give you information and we send you off to your room. We send you back home. The best part about the Bosses Retreat is the opportunity to, get the information and then turn around and work with the coach at the same time. Sometimes you go to conferences and you get all this information, you get all this knowledge. And then what happens is you go back home and you're trying to figure out, what do I do first? Or how do I work through this? Or I got all this knowledge. What do I do with it? So you're going to get the coach in the room that is going to be able to guide you at the same time. So when you leave there, you're not guessing what is your next step. You're already going to know what your brand is. You're already going to know what your marketing plan looks like for the next 90 days and really for the rest of the year. Okay.
Yeah, I think that the fun part when one of the fun things that we do is as a collective, right? Because sometimes in your mind an idea is one way. But when you have a room full of people we're all talking about the same kind of topics, right? We can really work the ideas together. And so that doesn't always happen in some of larger spaces, right? So we're in an intimate setting, right? We are everyone's items are protected. You'll sign a non-disclosure, right? Because we don't want nobody telling anybody's trade secrets or anything like that. But we are really able to mind map some of these ideas and really talk through some of them in a really organic way. So what if your client, right? What if your ideal client is in the room?
Yeah.
You have a really good opportunity to ask the questions that maybe you don't have a chance to ask. And then really we can work through some of the challenges that maybe you faced over the last year, or maybe even some things that you hadn't considered, right? So we really think kind of outside of the box, and we have fun doing it. I really want to stress that because I think some of these you go to some of these forums and you go to some of these retreats and you're like, I'm going to work for 4 days and I'm going to be stressed out and I'm going to leave with all of this stuff. And really, we do a session, we'll spend an hour or two in a session, we'll get all of the ideas, and then we have a breakout where then you can talk to that specific coach and you're going to ask questions and you can work on that specific topic. You're given questions and workbooks and things of that nature. So please don't feel like, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm not going to have fun. You're definitely going to have fun. But we are going to get a lot of work done as well. Takara, can you drop the dates for the retreat as well? And so I think it's so important that you come with some idea, right, that you want to explore. I think that's going to be the first part. But I love the fact that Takara, she covers the first day we talk only about mindset, right? Because it makes the other days go so much better. When you get into a mindset of, okay, maybe we're going to shift. I have to be in a really good place to view my business differently, to receive constructive criticism, because that's not always easy, right?
Yeah.
It's not always easy to hear that maybe, your logo should be changed, or to hear that your website may not be up to snuff. Like, it's not easy to hear those things, especially things that you have worked tirelessly on, right? Those things that
Yeah.
you've spent day and night trying to do it on your own, and it may not be kind of where you want them to be, but it's hard to kind of let some of those things go, right? And so we really work on the mindset first, because sometimes we are slaves to our business, right? We become slaves to our business and we want to check out. And I was definitely at that point, and so being a slave to your business where it's not fun anymore, you're not even having a good time, and you're frustrated. And so spend that first day working on just mindset and that self-awareness, and then we shift from there to goal setting. I think it's absolutely amazing. And if you have not already, this is a really good time to check out the dates, March the 7th through the 10th. Check your calendar. While we are waiting, while we're talking through this, go ahead and pull up your calendar and see if those dates work for you. I hope they do, because we have a great time. The weather's always beautiful. It was almost a little warm. I think I had like a jean jacket or something like that. We were in Orlando, but the weather was beautiful. It didn't rain. We had a pool. Listen, it was everything I needed right at the end of the first quarter.
Yes, awesome. So we're gonna also talk about that 60-second elevator speech. I know a lot of times people are so into like getting grants, getting money, but listen, if you can get down that 60-second elevator speech, wherever you go, when you know how to roll off what your business does, how is it beneficial? The next one is how to tell your story. We definitely work on that. That is a big one. How do you tell your story? How did you get here? How did you get to be who you are? But making sure that you can say it within a good amount of time. You don't want to get up and just start rambling and all those type of things, but you want to make sure that you can really articulate who you are, what you do, what do you have to offer. So if anybody ever comes to you, or you ever in a room where you can speak to people, because even when you're in different spaces in your networking, you want to be able to say what you do without rambling,
Yeah.
get straight to the point. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I offer. This is the problem that I solve. You don't have to say I solve this problem, but being able to tell people the problem that you solve in the world is always the key. So we're going to tell you how to do that. We're going to talk about taxes and business taxes. What does that look like? Because I know a lot of people had those questions the last time we were there. So we wanted to make sure that we definitely covered that. How do you fill out your forms? How do you keep your paperwork throughout the year? So when you do file your taxes, you're making sure that you're filing them properly, and also understanding business credit. So those are some topics. Of course, we cover pretty much everything about business, and I could not write everything on here, but these are primarily the ones that we cover. Another session that we do is also called encouraging the creative, because I am a believer in encouraging us. A lot of times we do get down, there are moments where, it's hard. So you're going to hear from someone that has been in the trenches, that has done it, that has been able to balance it, and they're going to encourage us to keep going. Okay. And
Yeah,
you guys put some hearts and likes in the comments. If you have any questions, please drop them inside the comments. If you have any questions, please also drop them in the chat. All right. So that I make sure I answer all of your questions. So again, these are the topics that we're going to talk. If you're just coming on this, we're talking about the Bosses Retreat 2024. That's going to be in Orlando, Florida, March the 7th through the 10th. And I'll explain how the dates kind of go a little bit later, a little bit over the itinerary. But again, these are the topics that we're going to cover and more. This is for bosses. This is for entrepreneurs. This is for creatives. This is for leaders. This is for influential people. If you are trying to get your business to the next level and really elevate, this is, where you guys want to be. All right.
For everyone that's watching, if you could, if there was a topic that you did not see that that it looks like we don't cover, can you drop that in the chat? What's the one thing that you feel like your business needs? We'll give it a few seconds, but drop one thing that your business needs in the chat. Because we definitely want to take care of everyone who's going to be in the room, and however we can share the information with you guys, even before the Bosses Retreat. I think we can make an effort to share some of those nuggets with you all. But if you could drop one thing in the chat, if you're watching on Facebook or if you're on Zoom, drop one thing in the chat that you feel like your business needs today. Drop one thing in the chat that you feel like your business needs. I'm going to drop something in the chat as well. Drop one thing in the chat that you feel like your business needs. If you need funding, drop funding. If you need a virtual assistant, drop that. If you need new goals, if you need to learn how to reach your audience, where to find your people, if you need help with social media, drop that in the chat.
So keep dropping those. While we're dropping those, one thing that I'm a believer is your network is your net worth. Okay. And so a lot of times it really sometimes is who you know that has the ability to open up that next door that you need. So the best part about this retreat is the ability to network. What I loved about the group of people that we had at this previous one is just everyone's ability just to come together. There was like a couple nights, that they gathered together, they went out, they had a good time. Nobody knew each other. They even left me one night. I said I wanted to go. I took the speaker back to his room, y'all, and guess what? They left me. I'm like, I was gone, literally. Y'all knew I wanted to go. And I'm still mad at y'all about that because y'all gonna watch this later. But anyway, y'all left me. But the good thing about it is that it was a group of them that had no idea. They met each other all for the first time, and they were able to all go out and have a good time while the rest of us, we stayed. Yes, Chef, they left me. They did. That's Chef Lali on there. They left me. He's a witness. So, some of us stayed, we got in the jacuzzi, we got in the pool. It was just an amazing time. So like we said, it's not just, we're going to work because I'm believing we're coming here, we're going to work, but we're also going to have a good time and have the ability to work, to network with one another. Some of them even left being able to utilize each other's services, using each other as content creators, using each other as photographers, writing books for people, helping edit books, creating covers. So it was just the ability of all the wealth of knowledge that was in the room. It wasn't just even about the 5 coaches that had the ability to teach. It was about the other people that were able to come to the table and the wealth that they brought. So that's one thing I absolutely love about the Boss Retreat. When you come, you're going to network, you're going to meet some amazing people that are all on the same page. And we actually had a wide range of ages, and we still had a great time. Okay. Because let me tell you guys something. I am a believer that us younger, and I'm not even the youngest, but us younger generation, the ones that are under us, the ones that are older, we all need each other. The older seasons one, we need their knowledge. And the older season one, you guys need our knowledge. You need the technology part, you need the goal setting part, you need the organizational part. And so we all need one another. So to have the wide range of generations in the room was what I loved the most, because we were all able to learn from one another. So again, your network is your net worth. Okay. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm almost done. I just want to give you guys this information. So let's talk about some problems. Let's talk about some things for me as a coach that I hear. And I'm sure there is a lot of other ones that a lot of the other coaches hear, but I'll start with some of the ones I hear. So next year I am going to, right? Next year I'm going to start my business. How many years have you said, next year I'm going to start my business? How many years have you said, I'm going to launch? How many years has it been where you say, I'm going to finish that book? I'm going to finish that module. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to do this. And next year comes, and guess what? Nothing is done. So
I think she was talking directly to me, y'all. She looked like right at me and said that.
Right to her. I'm talking right to her. Every year we talk about some of these things. And so we mastered other aspects of our lives. But some of these things that we keep saying every year we're going to do, we don't do. Okay. So I really want us to get us from saying next year I'm going to saying this year I'm going to, and by this date it will be released. That's where I want to get us to. I'll tell you this, I am a stickler for goal setting and execution. If you don't want to go anywhere, if you don't want to be successful, please don't hang around me, because I promise you, if you're around me long enough, you are going to reach your goals, because I'm going to make sure of it. I'm going to keep asking you and getting on your nerves. When are you going to get it done? Have you wrote your book yet? How many chapters have you wrote? When are you going to get it done by? What's the date? And every week I'm going to ask you until we get to that date, because the reality is, if you don't put a date to it, you're not going to do it. That's just a nugget right there. If you do not date your goals, you will not reach them. I don't care what nobody's saying. It will still be something that you wrote on a piece of paper and you look up 6 months from now and it's not done. So next year I am going to, I hear that. I feel stuck. That's a big one. A lot of times you get into your business. Sometimes you didn't even intend for your business to go as fast as it did. Sometimes you didn't even intend for your business to go where it was. And so sometimes we get to that point where we get stuck, and then we have to go back and do some foundational things to get us back to where we need to be. And that's okay. I can speak for myself. When I first started doing hair loss, I didn't realize that my hair loss business was going to skyrocket like it did. I just started it, and then I got to a point where I had to go back to the basics. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I got to get some of this established. I got to go back and I need to get a system for this. I need to get a system for that, because I didn't realize that my business was going to grow so fast. And so sometimes that's what happens with us. You start the business, you know, it might even been a hobby that's, you know, people just started asking you to do something. And you're like, oh my God, here we are. Now I'm making cakes for people. Now I'm cooking for people. I'm making t-shirts. I'm right. And now it's like, wait a minute, I'm stuck. What do I do now? What do I do next? How do I scale? How do I, do I need a VA? Do I need an assistant? And so when you get to that place, it's like, we have to create a plan. So I am stuck, right? Or you go and you get something and now it's turned into something else that you did not intend for it to be. I feel stuck. All right. I have no idea where my money is going. That's a big one. A lot of times, and it goes down to, I don't separate my finances, right? A lot of times people in business do not keep track of their money. All of their money is going into the same place. If all of your money is going into the same place, there's no way you could distinguish if it's a house bill, if it's a business bill, if it's business income, is it home income? So where is my money?
Can we talk about how we even eat out at our margins, because we're just not using the right sources, right? How, there are opportunities for us to use different vendors or whatever, but because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, I want to start a product line, or I want to write a book. And then you get to the publishing part and you're like, what vendor should I use? And literally it can mean thousands for you in your business. Choosing the wrong vendor, or listen, hey, I'm starting, but I want to order my shirts, or I want to order my materials from Amazon. It's already marked up. Right. And so that's not the cheapest source that you can use. So these are the things that we teach you on, not only where is your money going, How can you save money? How can you cut costs,
Oh, that's a
right?
dope.
People like, oh, what's the cost for the bosses retreat? I guarantee you, whatever that cost is, we are going to find it in your current numbers, right? Where you're spending it, we're probably going to find at least that amount
Yeah,
because you're misspending it or the funds are being misappropriated, whatever is happening, I can almost guarantee you that we are probably going to find it when we get to this section right here, when we start talking about what are we buying? What are we considering business expenses versus personal expenses? Are you an S corp versus an LLC? And when we talk about taxes and all of those things, we can really find you money. So all of those, I think there was a couple people that dropped that they needed funding in the chat. Well, a lot of your funding is probably going to be right here because your expenses are simply too high. How can we cut some of those costs? You need an assistant, but maybe you don't need someone in person right now. You need a VA, and so that cost may cut your cost in half. Right? Maybe your overhead just for what you want to do right now is too large. So maybe you need to scale back before you can scale up. Right. So these are all the things that we get into, especially with the money, because money is a problem for I think everyone in entrepreneurship, especially right now. Interest rates are extremely high, and you listen, if y'all have kids, like I have one. Kara got a couple of them. I only have one. And she's expensive, right? These children are expensive. We're right here at the holidays. And so we get it. We understand it 255%. But we're not looking to just take money from you. We are looking to help you find money in your business to help run it for the next year.
That's good. Okay, I'm gonna run through these quickly, and then we're gonna get to the next part. So I'm running ads, but I'm not getting clients. Okay, that one is a big one because if you don't know who your client is, if you don't know who the person that you're talking to is, a lot of times you will continue to run ads and you're not gonna make money. So we're definitely going to teach you how do you find your person and how do you speak to them. How you speak to your client is very, very important. Okay, if you guys ever watch, there's a video, a snippet from the last one. I tell them about speaking to your person. Okay. How I speak to my client is different than how Brittany speaks to her client. So therefore, when I'm creating my content is going to look different than Brittany's. And a lot of times what we would do is we're copying and mimicking other people's content. But the reality is you're not talking to your client. You're talking to whatever you're mimicking client. So you have to know how to, if you're going to, create content, speak to your person. I'll give you a perfect example. I don't do kids. Okay. Unless their parents are my clients. But if anything y'all see me post, you will never see me post anything about a kid unless it has to do with hair growth or my daughter, because I don't style kids at all. If you don't want to do it, don't post it. But a lot of times we post things that we really want to do. So that's just an example that I'm giving you when it talks about content that converts and looks at, when you're talking to your client. My client is a mature client. So my client, I got to make sure that I'm speaking directly to them. Okay, we talked about finances. I currently feel overwhelmed and depressed. Okay, that is a big one. A lot of people that I'm talking to, by the time they get to me, they are overwhelmed and they are depressed in their business. Like my BB said, a lot of times they feel like they are slaves to their businesses. A lot of people create their businesses in the beginning to be financially free. But what happens is somewhere in the mix, we end up becoming a slave to our business. I remember at one point, I felt like I was a slave to the chair. I had no control. And so I had to take that control back over my business. You don't get to tell me when you come, and I'll tell you when you can come. That's just how you have to run it. Because if not, if you always, it's the same thing. I'm just going to go here real quick. It's the same thing with life, right? Because what do I tell you? What you do at home is what you do in your business. Yeah. And so if you set boundaries at home, you will set boundaries in business. If you don't have boundaries at home, 10 times out of 10, you're going to struggle with having boundaries in your business. So if you don't know how to say no at home, you definitely not going to know how to say no in your business. And I know I was that way at first. Just come on, just come. I don't care, girl. Just come on. If you wanna get your hair done, girl, just come on. And that's how I was. I was just telling people to come until it was wearing me out and I became a slave to my business. And so what I am teaching you guys now, what the other coaches are going to teach you now is how to save money. Okay. You guys get to learn from our mistakes. You guys get the blueprint of the things that we did wrong and the things that we have learned over time that's going to save you time and money. Because there are a lot of things that I did when I first started out in my business that I promise you I will never do. And when my coaching clients come to me, I can guarantee I tell them the same things. There are so many things and mistakes that I made in the beginning that now I'm like, wait a minute, that I will save money. And so that's what happens when you get yourself a coach, right? Kind of different than a mentor. And this is how I like to explain it. And then I'm going to move to the next one. I like to explain the difference between a coach and a mentor, right? Because as a coach, what I do is I'm looking from the outside, but I'm watching your plays, right? I'm watching what you're doing from the sideline and I can correct you. The problem with a lot of people is y'all so busy listening to the people in the stands that's telling you what you need to do instead of you need to get you a coach that's specifically going to help you in your business. So I'm from the sidelines. I'm outside looking in, and I'm going to tell you, this is what you need to do to make this layup. Your leg is wrong. You need to bring up your arm a little bit higher. Nope. Your business plan is off. Nope. You need to do this. Nope. Go over here, talk to this person. This person is going to tell you how to do this, X, Y, and Z. And then this is what you do. And this is how you're going to do it. And that's going to make you, had that slam dunk or whatever you want to call it. But that's what a coach does, that step-by-step guidance. When you have a mentor, it's a little bit different. I know everybody throws the terms out there, but, a mentor is really, for me, I consider it more so someone that's kind of in your emotions and they're going to kind of guide you. They're going to, you check in with them. But as a coach, it's my job to stay on you. Okay. It's my job to make sure that you win. Okay. The last one I'm going to say is I don't want to start because I'm afraid of failing. Okay.
That's
And one thing that I know that I have really heard in coaching is that people just don't want to do it because they're afraid. But listen, when you learn how to take things step by step, don't try to take off more than don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Take it step by step. And I promise you, you will be successful. And that's what happens at the Boss Retreat. You're going to learn how to step by step go through your goals and how to work your goals and get to the end of where you're trying to go to. Okay. So let me introduce you guys to your coaches really quickly. We have Miss Candace Hill. She is the marketing guru, guys. Okay. She has her own curriculum. It is Social Media University. So we are excited to have her. She is going to show you guys the ins and the outs of marketing, social media marketing, all different types of marketing, how to convert that marketing into money. Okay. So she actually just retired from her job and she is doing it full time. So listen, y'all, you do not want to miss out on her. Then we have Mr. Paul Peach Garrett. He is out of Dallas, Texas. He is awesome when it comes to self-awareness. He is also a coach that has been successful in other areas. So he's also able to give you guys a wide range. He's a pastor, he's a preacher. He goes into the schools and mentors and teaches. He is also in the corporate world when it comes to self-awareness and DISC assessments and different things like that. So he is going to be the one that's going to open you up. He's going to teach us how to operate in our genius. He is going to teach us how not to, this is what he calls how not to manufacture a weakness. It's so good, y'all. And so you want to miss him. Then we have Miss Heaven Harper. She is going to come and talk about branding. And let me tell you guys something. This is my friend, and I was blown away in her session, teaching us and being able to show us. She don't lie because she gets on me all the time. I send her stuff and she'd be like, no, that's ugly. And then she just does it herself. And I'd be like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? If you say it's ugly, then you can do it. But she's going to tell me the truth. She's going to tell anybody the truth. If it's something that does not look good, if it's something that does not reflect your brand, she's going to tell you. It's a couple people that came last year and they have been telling people about her because she told them that their logo looked like they was dead, but they received it in love because that's how it came. It came from a loving place. So like I told you, like she said, you're going to get hands on. Like we're looking at logos, we're looking at brands, we're looking at brand colors, we're looking at brand boards, we're creating brand boards to make sure that everything you're doing is in alignment with what your brand is. And does your logo, does your business reflect that which your business is? Then we have the amazing Candace Washington. She is a licensed therapist, and she's going to come and do a group therapy session. We, like I said, we always start with mindset. So she's going to do our group therapy session. We're going to talk about the fear of failing. We're going to talk about overcoming fears. We're going to talk about just the challenges again of entrepreneurship, and be able to ask those questions. We're going to dig deep. Last year, or this year rather, we cried a little bit. We had some ones that shed tears. We went and hugged on some people that felt like, I'm in this by myself, and we let them know you are not in this by yourself. And she gained a tribe that weekend that is behind her, and she gained some new friends, because the reality is sometimes when we're elevating, it's scary, because it requires us to let go of old friends. It requires us to let go of old circles. And sometimes it can be stuck. It can be rough when you have to release people and it's time to elevate, or rather when people decide they want to drop off, because they feel like, you feel like you arrived, or they feel like, you're doing too much, or whatever case may be. And so when we lose people and we have to grieve that process, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. And so that's why we talk about the psychological aspects of entrepreneurship, because as you grow, your circle will change. There's no way you can elevate and not gain new people. Okay. Yeah. This culture of no new friends is crazy to me. All right. Because at the end of the day, at some point, you're going to get new friends. It's nothing wrong with keeping the old friends. I got the same best friend in 20 years, but guess what? We've learned how to grow together. And that's just what it is. It's not always you lose friends, because if you're willing to put in the work for the relationship, it works. We've been willing to put in the work. That's why we are where we are. But the reality is sometimes it's not always like that. So we have to grieve people that we have to let go. And so that's the psychological part. When we elevate and people drop off, you have to be okay with sometimes walking alone until the Lord allows you to, or until you open yourself up to come to a boss's retreat and meet people that are on the same level that you are and ready to elevate, and they become your tribe. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the last. He is the chef, but he's also a coach, because listen, y'all, he is a wealth of knowledge by himself. That is Chef O'Shea. Okay. He is the chef for us all weekend. He provides meals, but not just meals. But he puts his heart and soul into everything.
Yeah, we ate good, y'all.
I promise you, if you ever sit down and have a conversation with him, he is a well all by himself. And we may try to get him, because he be asleep because he cooks so much, y'all. We may try to get him to open up his mouth while he's there that weekend and share some of his knowledge. Those of you that are, restaurant, business, all those different. Listen, if you get a chance to pull him to the side, talk to him. He has ran successful restaurants. He knows what it is to own a restaurant. He knows what it is to cater and be in that industry. So listen, come be in the room, not just for the food, but I promise you're going to get something from the chef. But again, he's going to provide all of our meals for the entire weekend. We get breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. And I promise you, we don't skimp on the food. It's enough for us to go around. It's clean. He's on time and plated amazing. So I want to let you guys know we are excited about Chef O'Shea being with us. And of course, myself, Takara Nicole, I'm your host. And I also will be teaching about goal setting and execution, of course, because, those are my babies. All right.
Can we pause right there? Because
okay, pause really quickly.
If anybody just caught that, right? Like literally, there are so many different industries that are represented amongst the group of coaches. It's amazing. Like literally from and Candace will tell you, like, licensed clinical therapist. She's also in Hollywood in the movie, and she'll get into her background. Obviously, Takara and I have worked in the beauty industry, and then corporately I work in human resources. Pastors, literally, like there's the food industry. Candace is in taxes and some other things as well, and social media. There's so much that we cover, and I don't know if there's an industry that really isn't covered within this group of people, right? There isn't anything that many of us haven't touched or dabbled in and can really provide some level of guidance in some way, shape, or form. And so this is amazing. Like, you don't really get this wide of a variety of people in one space at a time. Usually, you go to like one coach and you're going to spend $2,000 or $3,000 with that coach, and then you're going to spend $2,000 or $3,000 with another coach. Like, seriously. And then I think all of us separately, all of our courses are thousands of dollars on their own. So this is amazing that you get all of us in one space, like under the same roof. We are
Yeah.
working with you even outside of those sessions, right? We're working with you on whatever your specific thing is. And you can pull any coach to the side and say, hey, this is my thing. I need a hand. Let me run this idea past you. And we're really able to give you some unbiased, non-objective, some feedback, right? Because sometimes what we really just need is some feedback. So if you're like, hey, my friends and my family don't understand what I'm trying to build. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family, right? They don't
That's good.
understand.
Yeah.
Right? They don't understand what I'm trying to do. My friends, maybe listen, they have corporate jobs, but they have no interest in entrepreneurship, or they aren't a leader in their church, or whatever the situation is, they're not looking to pass
Yeah.
to others. But they are looking for us. If you're looking for a space where you can kind of get what you need to take back home to be successful, literally everything you need is in the room. And one, kudos to you, Takara, for picking such an amazing panel of people. There was such a variety last year, and even with our attendees, I mean, everyone had a different walk of life, but we
Absolutely.
were really able to sit down and to, like you said, network with one another and learn from one another, in so many ways, and to connect. It was absolutely amazing. So please, when you get a chance, and you can search and look up everyone on socials, but really to be in the room with them is an experience.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. All right, so let's get into it really quickly. Your investment, right? And what does that look like? And so today you can secure and hold your spot for $150. Okay. By securing your spot for $150, your first payment will not be due until January the 1st or like the 2nd, around that time. Okay. So we have a couple options. Now let me just let you guys know, because of how this event goes, I'm only taking 20 people. Okay. So
Ooh.
I cannot take everybody, because if you listen to everything that we're providing, if you're listening to everything that we're going to do, there's no way that I can have a room full of people and still be able to give you guys the one-on-one attention that you're going to need. Okay. For me, I'm all about the quality and not the quantity. Okay. Any day. I love to work in small groups because I want to make sure that when you leave the Boss's Retreat, you are leaving with the information that you need to be successful. So I can only take 20 people. And can I tell you guys something, how good the Lord is? About 2 days ago, I had a family of 5 sign up. Okay. That only leaves 15 slots left. But
Ooh.
that does not include that I got 4 people right now that have deposits in. Now, they're not paid in full, but they got deposits
Ooh.
in. So our numbers right now are already trickling down to the amount of people or spots that we have left currently.
So what does that leave us at, like 11? There's like 10 or 11 spots, only
Yeah,
10.
that's
Oh, so
it.
wait a minute. So as of right now, technically,
Yeah.
we only have 11 spots open, which means
Technically.
if you want to be in the room, you need to just go ahead on and put your 150, like 150. Listen, we're going to spend that on DoorDash.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna spend it in DoorDash. We're gonna buy something we know sure enough we don't need. We're supposed to be unbigging our backs. So
Right.
don't even worry about DoorDashing it for the next month, right? Cut down. That's one thing. Listen, ask a friend, a family member. Listen, like, you know what you can get me for Christmas? You can go ahead and shoot me this $150, and I want to go to this thing. I made the mistake of not opening my mouth one time, and I sat still one night, and I said I really wanted to go to when Oprah was doing her tour, her last tour, the top of 2020, right? I gotta share this quick story with you guys. Top of 2020. And I said, I just don't have it. And I said, I don't have it, but I'm not gonna ask anybody for it, right? Because you know how we get, y'all. We
Yeah.
don't want to ask somebody for nothing because we independent and we entrepreneurs and we're supposed to have it all the time and all of these things, right?
Yeah.
But listen, it was not in my entrepreneurial budget to spend $1,000 on a trip that I could not, in my mind, justify at the time. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right. And then the travel and the lodging and I just couldn't. I said, there's no way. And so I posted, I think the flyer that Oprah had put out. And so I'm going to tell you, all of you, if you really want to go, post the flyer, right? Post the flyer and say, listen, I want to go to this. Like, don't sit on your own blessing. I
That's
posted the
good.
flyer of me wanting to go to Oprah's thing. And can I tell you all that less than 24 hours later, I got an email. Someone who I had impacted years ago was
Wow.
looking for an opportunity that they could pour back into me and say thank you. And they took that opportunity to buy me a $1,200 ticket.
Wow. That's good.
That was amazing. So I encourage all of you who are watching to share the poster, right? Share the poster, share the flyer, tell someone, tell a family member. If you really want to do something for me, if you want to make an impact in my life for 2024,
I
this
like
is
that.
what I'm trying to do. And you'd be surprised. We do all the other things. Listen, I'm guilty. I'll be at the Ross twice a week. I'm ordering something on Amazon I don't have no business ordering. And before I know it, I've probably spent this $150 10 times over.
Right.
So before you even get too far into your Christmas shopping and all of that, put a few dollars aside, ask a family member. If you listen, you're gonna get some Visa the gift cards, you're gonna get them. You're gonna get them for the holidays. Listen, add them puppies up, use those, pay a bill, and then take your money and go ahead and secure your spot. Listen, we y'all know how to do it. Ranch around, ranch off, and y'all know how to make this happen. But it is an investment that you do not want to miss out on. It is definitely an experience that pays for itself. It pays for itself. If you leave there with the tools, I promise you it pays for itself. Takara and I had so much fun this year. I think traveling to and talking to some of the students and seeing what they had done, right? And seeing how we got a chance to go to Virginia and watch the fruit of the Bosses retreat. Like,
Absolutely.
it was amazing. We got to watch the fruit of the Bosses Retreat live and in person. And we listen, and we didn't make any money by going, but we wanted to go into support. And we've done this with quite a few of Secura's students and clients, right? Where uh they've invested in themselves in some way, shape, or form by way of coaching or attending one of these sessions, right? And just as a support, like, we show up to listen to them opening salons, or them opening a new building, them launching a new book, whatever it is, we try to show up and support. But those things are the fruit of events like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's so
they're really the
true.
fruit.
A lady, let me tell you guys, the last event that we were able to show up to was a lady, y'all, and she came to the Bosses retreat in March. Okay. In August, we went to the launching of her life coaching business. And not only that, she worked so hard and completed a book, y'all,
Yeah.
completed a book that she wrote. And I gave her a deadline. We met every single week. I stayed on her. Listen, she was able to complete her book by August, and she had her
Yeah.
book in hand. And I don't even got it down here. It's upstairs, but I got the book to
Oh,
prove it.
wait,
You got it?
do I
But I'm
have it in
telling
here?
you, it was the fruit of the Bosses retreat.
It's in my
She
bedroom.
came to the Bosses retreat in March. And when I tell you she was willing to put in the work, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. And she was not young. Let's be clear. And she wasn't young,
Yeah.
but she listened to everything that we told her to do, from switching her logo to changing her brand to everything that we told her to do. She listened and she
Yeah.
launched. She got coaching clients. She got county people calling her to come and do what she does in her coaching business. That was the fruit of when you set the goal, you create
Yeah.
the plan, and you execute. So I promise you guys, this is worth the investment, because there's not many places, and that's what we were saying earlier. I promise you, because my coaching program is way more than $2,500. I'm just not going to tell you no lie. It is. So there's not many places that you're going to go. And not only are you going to pay the money, right? But you're going to get the knowledge. How many
Yeah.
times, and I can speak for myself, have you gone to conferences and you're like, what did I spend money on? Like, what did I get out of this? So when I have events, and I'll speak, I know what I put out there. When I have events, I want to make sure, which is why we do small groups, that you guys really get the information. This is why I call it an execution party. I didn't want us just to come and have fun. We look cute in our clothes. We look cute in our pajamas, and we're taking all these cute pictures. But when you leave, nobody executes. No one has fruit. I can say that majority of the people that have left the Bosses Retreat, I'm looking up one girl, she opened up a second location within 4 months of leaving the Bosses Retreat. You know what I'm saying? Like looking at the fruit, opening up business, launching, leaving jobs for enough to go full time as an entrepreneur. Like I'm watching the fruit of them executing the things that they said that they were going to do. So $150 is the only thing we're asking to go ahead and hold your spot. $2,500. This now, let me explain. So it's from the 7th through the 10th. So everybody comes in on this on the 7th, which is that Thursday. Okay. So you really kind of get an extra day. You come in, you can relax, you can get in the pool, you can, get into your room, get settled. Thursday night, we do a welcome reception. You will get all of your materials that you need. You get planners, you get workbooks, you get pens, everything that you need, you're going to get. Okay. So Thursday night, you'll come in, welcome reception. We start early Friday morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then you can go home Sunday evening. Okay. So for that price, $2,500 is from the 7th through the 10th. Okay. So $2,500 is the single, so you get your own room, your own bathroom to yourself. Okay. $2,000, you will room with someone. Okay. Of course, it's going to be, male, female, female, unless you guys come together. All right. So your room together. And then there's another option, which is $1,900. That's right, chef, hot meals, $1,900.
Yes, fresh.
That. And we had 2 people that didn't last year. They stayed off. And that's sometimes people have like timeshares and stuff in Orlando that they want to use and they choose to come over. All right. So we do have a couple slots available if you want to have a attendee ticket where you stay off and then you come over to the house. All right. Remaining balances have to be paid off by February the 8th. So you still have more than a couple of months to go ahead and pay that off. We do have payment plans available. All right. So we do offer Afterpay. We have Klarna, we have Sizzle. So we do have options for you guys so that you don't have to pay the full amount up front. You can make payments over time. Okay. So we wanted to make sure we have options for you. So please reach out if you would like to utilize one of those options. They are available. Okay. So right now, really quickly, I have 2 attendees that are going to share with you guys their experience from the Bosses Retreat. So if I can start with Leah.
Okay. Right. 1 second.
Okay. You want Marvin to go first? Are you good?
Okay. Sorry, I was just about to get up and unlock my door. Trying to look a little better. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Leah.
So, excuse my appearance. I have been working out this week, is starting my new year this week with exercise and eating better, but it is showing on me. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about my experience with the Bosses Retreat this year. I went to the Bosses Retreat 2023. Sorry. So I went to the Bosses Retreat 2023, and it was definitely life-changing for me. I'm grateful that I went. It was almost like a last-minute decision for me, but I will tell y'all that if y'all feel that tug or that pull to go, then do it. Definitely go for it, because I just threw a bunch of clothes in a suitcase and was like, I'm just gonna go, go and support and just see what, God has for me. And it was more than what I was expecting. Just to kind of give some backstory on me personally, I had just transitioned jobs, and I had just been kind of going job to job to job, knowing that working was not for me, knowing that my calling was entrepreneurship, knowing that, I was supposed to own and be in a leadership position and run my own business. I knew that I was more than capable of doing that, but for some reason, it's like fear and procrastination and so many different things were just kind of holding me down and weighing me back. And really, it had just been me against me. And for the longest time, I was losing. I was losing that battle in my thoughts. I was losing that battle in, my productivity, and just, I'm just grateful that I came to the Boss Retreat simply because it shook me and woke me up and to realize, my true potential. And like they said, how they start out with the mindset day first, that was a big thing for me because I needed to change my mindset and I didn't even know that I needed to. I didn't even realize that I was in like a victim mindset where I was just blaming everyone else and not looking inward to see, if I want something to change in my life, then I have to change it. Then I have to get up, dust myself off and get to work. If I want to see something changed, I'm going to have to do the work. And I'm just grateful that, there were so many different aspects of the Boston Retreat that woke that back up inside of me. And just for me personally, after that experience, not only I have a background in marketing, I've owned several businesses in the past, but just over time, you get so worn out and you become like a slave to your business, and then different life circumstances come at you and they come at you hard sometimes. And, sometimes you just get in that low place. But if you're trying to dig out of that, if you're trying to overcome those obstacles, if you're trying to get back in the place where you should be, this is definitely the stepping stool to get there. This is definitely, the ladder that where, like she said, you're going to be climbing that ladder with people on both sides of you, people behind you, pushing you to say, keep going. Okay, now step here. Okay, now work this way. Okay, let's pivot here. And sometimes that's what you need. You need that support system. You need those people that'll say, hey, think about it this way. Look at it this way. Have you thought of this? Have you considered that? And so that way you can be in that room of like-minded individuals and just feel that energy of, we're all trying to accomplish something, we're all trying to overcome, any obstacle, that life has thrown at us, but we are determined, that we're willing, and that we can do it. People overcome things every day, but who you're surrounded by makes a difference. The words that you are receiving, the seeds that are being planted in your life, it makes a difference. So it's like, come here and let the right seeds be planted. Stop listening to naysayers. Stop listening to your friends and family who say you can't do it, but get in the room with some people who are going to show you, yes, you can. Yes, you can do it. Yeah, this was holding you back, but look, here's a stepping stone. You can step over that and you can still get to where you want to be. So if you want to see a change, if you want to change some things, if you want to see your business grow and excel, then I encourage you to come and let the Bosses Retreat ignite a new fire in you like it did for me.
Yeah, shameless plug. If you don't plug yourself in your business, tell the folks what you did, full-time entrepreneurship. Tell the people, tell them.
So like I was saying, like so much was holding me back from just being all of the things that I know I could be. I've been, like Takara says all the time, I've been doing her photography for years, but I don't even really post that I do photography and stuff. And so she's always pushing me to just like put it out there, let other people know that, you do take quality photos. So I am a photographer. I am open for headshots and stuff to start you off in the new year. But also at the same time, another thing that the Boss Retreat really ignited in me is to stop working and just do it. Believe that, God will show up, have faith that he will send the clients. And so this year I was able to quit my job and do real estate full time. So I am a full-time real estate agent in the state of Georgia. And I am always meeting new people, always reaching out. And I just believe that 2024 is going to be my best year yet in real estate. So
awesome. Leah, we are so proud of you. We are so proud of you. Thank you so much for your words. Thank you for being transparent about where you are and what you've been trying to accomplish and where you are. I'm so grateful that you were able to attend and be a part. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So next we're going to have Marvin McQueen, and he is going to share his experience at the Boston Retreat. The floor is yours.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Marvin McQueen II here. I am the president and founder of the Create and Change Group. and I get a chance, I get a privilege, I'll say, of meeting people and helping them, being a source for personal and professional development. My Probably my most top service has been helping people publish and write those books and get them out, because I just believe everybody has a message. And I think, for me, uh, coming to the Bosses Retreat was one of those things where I kind of said, all right, I need something. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew I needed something. And so, like, through networking with everybody, meeting, I think probably the session that probably brought the most out of me was Preach's session. That doggone assessment, I was like, man, I have not been aware of what I actually needed. And through that, my 2023 honestly transformed and changed. And it wasn't about the ads, it wasn't about my marketing. It was, how are you operating based on where you currently are? And a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, sometimes we're not operating, period, at the level that we need to operate. And so once we get into a place of operating where we need to be, you will go accordingly. Yes, your logo needs some help, but you don't even know you're doing it, because where you are, you work on yourself. And I think bosses, we forget to work on ourselves. So the business, yes, making some money, doing okay, it can go. Just like Leah said, it can go. Like she said, she did promote herself. Probably most people there, we don't promote ourselves like we should. And it was a great thing. I call her Miss Executionist over there, Coach Key. She says, "All right, you need to get it. You need to get done. Do what you got to do." And the best thing, she'll just come echo it. So you're really in no man's land as far as doing something on your own. The greatest part about the Bosses Retreat is that is understand bosses. We know your gripes. We know your prayers. We know your the negative. We know the positive. We know the tiredness. Whatever that you're feeling, uh, everybody understands what you're doing. And the good part is you're not going to ever do it alone anymore. I guarantee you're going to have family that's going to just come in and just jump in and help out. So my experience was great. So I still have my notebooks that I had. I can't tell y'all everything that you're going to get, but good stuff. You got a whole nice swag bag, different things. So we're not just gaining Facebook friends and social media friends and followers, but you're gaining this knowledge that you can actually apply to your business, to your life. That's the most important part, because your life is your business and business is your life. And I think uh, when finished and when I was driving back, I said, Marvin, you needed that. Marvin, you needed that. I think that was the biggest this change for me, in putting it out. So I'm helping other people create change. Why don't I change? And so it makes your money where your mouth is. The investment is nothing. Like, you're going to get a lot of more stuff. Like, they're telling you the different stuff, scripted. I'm telling you, you're going to get more stuff than they're telling you. I'm guaranteed. Listen to me. You're going to get more stuff than you. And so everybody's approachable. And I think it's good. Almost like when millionaires come together. So soon it's going to be the Millionaire Bosses Retreat. And so we want to see everybody we want to see everybody do what they need to do. But listen, my piece on what I got from everything. So, hey, I appreciate y'all.
Marvin, shameless plug. Shameless plug. Drop your website and all of that for the folks who are looking to listen. If you are looking to write a book, Marvin is the guy. Listen, when I tell you there's everything in the room, there's everything in the room. And so, Marvin, drop your info, share your
Yes,
handles,
Marvin
all that
was
good
very
stuff.
instrumental in our publishing of my client book in August. He came through. We were working with some other people things were just not working out the way we needed. And I was like, Marvin, I need you to, and we're on the phone. I'm in the airport. I'm traveling. I'm like, I need you to do this. And he's like, I got you. I got you. By the time you land, it's going to be done. And so when I say I appreciate him, he was just not a last minute, thing, people, they tend to use, may want to use whoever they want. But when I reached out to him, he was willing to help. So listen, if you guys want to write a book, I did a Zoom a couple months ago. I don't know if you guys hopped on. If you didn't, we're going to do it again. But he really taught us the outline of writing a book. He really is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to book writing. So publishing, editing, amazing. Ghostwriting, amazing. So if you guys are looking to write books, if you're looking to write modules, lessons, devotionals, make sure you guys get with him. He will definitely be able to help you guys. So thank you, Marvin, so much for coming on and letting us know what your experience was at the Bosses Retreat. I think that's pretty much all we have tonight. I do want you guys to ask questions. I know I tried to cover everything, but if there was something that you did not know, if there was a topic you want to know, are we covering, please drop it in the chat. If you're on the Zoom, please feel free to write your questions in the chat. We could, nobody else can see them, we can see them. So definitely go ahead and ask your questions. Let's see. I am going to, let me see. I'm going to drop the link for the deposit in the chat so you guys can make your deposit. If you got questions, you guys know me. You guys know that I am most definitely reachable. I'm not far that you cannot call, text, whatever, so that I can get with you guys. You guys can reach out to Heaven. She is also on the team as well. So please feel free.
Yeah, it was really good to just watch. It was good to watch all of the entrepreneurs, and pastors. Like I said, everyone had different walks of life and different goals when they got there. But it was really good to just watch everyone leave there and feel like they can make progress in their business. And then, I think we had some proud mama bear moments over this year, just watching people produce. So there is certainly fruit that comes out of this. And like I said, the investment is what it is, but it certainly pays for itself. You may have a client, your first client in the room. I think everyone there networked, made a connection of some sort. Was able to leave with something amazing. And so I am super excited to see what is produced this year. And some of the students that are returning, they're like, listen, I did this thing, but now I'm looking to expand my business. So like those things are so exciting to hear. And even us as coaches, right? We learn from each other and we talk to each other all the time, but it was interesting to learn from each other, and everyone contributes to the conversation. It's really like having a mastermind. We have some amazing thought leaders in the room, and it really works like a mastermind. So you come in and you are able to really share thoughts, share ideas across the room in a confidential space. We're able to be vulnerable about what's happening in our business or what's not happening in our business, right? Because sometimes what we put out on social media is all the glamorous parts, but we're really able to say, listen, I know what I posted looked good, but what's really happening over here is a hot mess. And so help me to clean this up, help me get this thing together. And we're able to do that. So if you are struggling in any area, if you are a leader and you're struggling to lead your people and to set goals for your people and to work cohesively as a ministry, this is for you. If you are an entrepreneur who is struggling and you're like, maybe I need to pivot altogether, this is for you. If you're like, I have an idea, right? I have an idea. I haven't even launched it as a business, as a book, as a whatever. I haven't launched anything yet, but I want to start somewhere. Start with a good, solid foundation, and that is the Bosses Retreat. And you're going to be surrounded with love.
Absolutely. And because one thing I always tell people is that if somebody was to come to you and say, hey, I want to fund your business, if you cannot articulate the amount of money that you need, if you cannot articulate exactly where you are going and what you are doing, you need to go back. Because a lot of times we don't even know what our numbers look like. We just say, I want, I need, but you've never taken the time to sit down and accept and assess, what does it really take for me to get to this next place? Or what does it really take for me to launch and start this business? So I am big, and BP hit it on the head. I am big on the foundation. When you start your foundation correctly, I promise you, you can do anything. The reason why I can coach any business is because the fundamentals of the business are the same. The foundational pieces are the same. The only thing that changes is honestly, once you kind of get to the marketing piece, and that really doesn't change. It's just your content changes. But those foundational things that you need to really function a business properly, they don't change.
They don't change.
That's why I can coach anybody and I'm going to get results, because the foundational things don't change. So that's what you are going to be able. I don't care what area of your business that you're in right now, you have the potential to grow. You have the potential to learn. I tell people, I never stop learning. I am constantly taking classes to build myself up. I don't know everything, but I'm after and I'm going to progress. So listen, you want to be in the room. This is your opportunity. This is your chance. Again, we only have really 11 slots.
11 spots.
And if I'm honest, it's a lot of people that are they're reaching out and they're like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. But until you pay that deposit, I don't know. Pamela, hit me up. I got you, Pam. I got you. She said, I feel stuck. And you earlier today, it's funny because what did I tell you guys? The most, I was giving you guys the statements that I hear the most, and I feel stuck is probably one of the biggest ones that I hear. A lot of people get to this place and they get to, even if you reach your peak, right? And you get stuck, it's like, well, what's next? What do I go to next? What do I do? Right now we're coming out of COVID, things are shifting. And sometimes some of us need to pivot, right? We need to pivot in our business. I need to go another way. Finances are changing for people. So maybe you say, you know what, maybe I need to do something different with my business. So this is what you are going to learn at the Bosses Retreat. You guys do not want to miss this opportunity. Okay.
Kara, I have a challenge, and I know this was not the plan, but here's what I'm thinking, right?
Okay.
Anyone who can make a deposit no later than Monday, right? I know you may have to talk to your spouse or whatever, do whatever you need to do to figure it out, right? But anyone who can make a deposit no later than Monday, that gives y'all a couple days to range around, range off, switch, listen, you're checking in your savings, do all of that, right? Anyone who is willing to make their deposit no later than Monday, can we give them a free 30-minute coaching call? And I'll even join the call with you, right? Just to help them work through their session, right? So not only will you get not only does it pay your deposit, but this is usually a session that costs well over $300. So you'll get a 30-minute session to kind of troubleshoot some ideas and really see if the Bosses Retreat is going to be for you, right? And so let's do that. So anyone who is willing to make their
and also
deposit,
what people don't know is everybody that attends. Also, when the Bosses Retreat is over, everybody gets a free coaching call. So even once the Bosses Retreat is over, if there are some things you're still kind of unsure about, which you shouldn't because you're going to be clear, or whatever, you have within the first 6 months to cash in your free coaching call. So whenever that time is, you're like, you know what, it's a couple months down and maybe you're stuck on an area or you're really unsure about something, everybody that attends still will get a free coaching call afterwards. But I am willing to do that. I am willing to do a free call with anybody that is able to make their deposit today. Or what did you say, within the next week or the end of
by Monday? If they
Okay.
can make it between now and Monday. If they can make it between now and Monday, then we can schedule them out next week. That'll give us a couple of days to get them scheduled for next week. So if you're not sure, if you're like, listen, I don't even know if this thing is going to be right for me, but I think maybe I need a one-on-one call to just see if I have enough stuff together to even be considered for the Bosses Retreat. I don't want to waste my money. If all of those things are crossing your mind, then and you are willing to pay your deposit. Listen, usually a coaching call or at least one session is at least for an hour, or 30 minutes is at least $350, right? And so you are getting not only your deposit paid, but you get 30 minutes of to ask some questions about your specific situation to see if the Boston Retreat will be a good fit, and just to get an answer for your business. If you just want to ask, one question like, hey, I'm struggling in this area. Is there any way you can help me? 30 minutes, I think, of time is valuable. I would say, listen, come write your question down, and we can hop right into Kara and I. Neither one of us, listen, we don't take no time to figure out exactly what's going on with you and your situation. And so, if you can pay your $150 no later than Monday, you get an extra coaching call. Prior to the Boston Retreat, you'll get the coaching call within the next week. All right. Before the holidays. Listen, this thing might make you money even before the holidays. Right? The call may even make you some money before the holidays. So hop on that if you can before Monday. We do Monday at midnight, Monday at midnight, which is almost Tuesday, right? So at least Monday by midnight, if you can pay your deposit, you'll get that extra 30-minute coaching call.
Yep. All right. Any other questions before we go? Like I said, tonight was I just wanted to get you guys the information. Last year we didn't get a chance to do this. Honestly, last year we kind of started letting it get, we filled up really fast. So this year, and I'm going to tell you guys, the reason why I really did this call was because Facebook deleted all of my Bosses Retreat posts. I mean, they went back months and months and deleted all of the information. I was like, God, you must really, God, you must really want to do something in this, because there's no way that I've had this post up. Y'all, I had over 22 shares on the post. I had hundreds of comments and shares and likes, and completely wiped out. And then it started going back. And so every post that I created about the Bosses Retreat was deleted. So I was like, okay, I got to start back over and get the information out. So I wanted to give you guys the chance to ask your questions, hear from me, the host, hear from, my partner, hear from people that have been at the retreat, so that you guys can get that real experience. So if you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to reach out. Please share this video. Can I ask you guys to do me a favor? If you see the flyer posted, please do me a favor and share it. I'm trying to get the word out. Again, like I said, it has been deleted off of Facebook. Almost 10 of my posts were all reported as going against the Facebook community. I don't know what I said, but it was. So I need you guys to please do me a favor and make sure you share this post, get the word out, share it with your friends. Like BB said, share this post and say, I want to go. You never know who has the ability to sow into what you're trying to do. You may get 3 people that say, hey, I can give you X amount of dollars. I can give you X amount of dollars, that are willing to sow into your life. So please share this live, share this post with other people. We are looking for an amazing time. It is my goal to help to uplift and encourage entrepreneurs. And I want us to not only be entrepreneurs, but to be successful entrepreneurs. Not only to be successful entrepreneurs, but us to be well entrepreneurs. You guys know I'm all about being well. And the worst thing sometimes about entrepreneurship is how getting into it without the details, going into it without being prepared, makes us sick, right? And not just sick in a sense of our body, but we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, we're depressed, we're suicidal, we got anxiety, because when things are not done or things are not going well and we don't know what to do, it bothers us on the inside. You know what I tell you guys? There is peace in preparation. I go with God. When I tell you guys, I go with God. I love God. I believe that God can do anything. And I'm going to end it like this. I believe God can do anything. But I tell you one thing, the Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain, so that he that readeth can run with it. And the reason why a lot of people are having a hard time getting on with what you're trying to do, because ain't nothing written. And so if I look at a lot of these entrepreneurs out there, is no business plan. Where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you reaching? What is the blueprint? So this is going to be the opportunity for you to get the blueprint, to understand where you're going, to understand what you're doing, to lay everything out for you to be successful in your business and for you to be well in your business. So thank you guys for watching. I love you all. Those of you that commented that you guys wanted to more information, we needed to link up, whatever the case may be, let's link up. Hit me up in my inbox. Let's have a conversation. And those of you that are watching the replay that's going to watch this later, if you have questions and you weren't able to ask them, please feel free to inbox me, or Heaven will be more than welcome to help you guys. But we love you guys. Have an amazing night and goodbye.